I'm rolling.
We're rolling, we're driving. That means we're driving, we're slapping. Slap a number, baby!
328.
Are you sure?
Episode 328,
Well,
yes.
don't look at 327 if you want to be sure.
Yeah.
This is for sure 328. We're on the road to North Carolina. Why would we even say such a thing? Well, let me just start by saying we're going to be passing very close to one Kelly Navarro. We want to say thank you, Kelly, for your coffee. You're a sweetheart. We have not yet snorted it, but it's coming. So thank you very much. Today is obviously Slapper Day, but we're recording this on a Thursday, heading toward North Carolina for 2 nights in Jack of the Woods. That's Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday we're in Rockville, Maryland for the hometown holidays. Then we're at Marty McGee's for Memorial Day, and then we're racing back home. Somebody's gonna have a little surgery or two. Feel a little bit like a woman. So, how's the rest of you doing? Everybody okay?
Yep, doing great.
Yep.
I see Francois back here has been asked not to speak any more Spanish. I don't know if you saw that comment. Somebody said, "Ooh, that was harsh."
Oh, really?
Lo siento, senor.
Yeah. Hey, cucaracha.
Why can't he speak Spanish?
He can speak Spanish. They just asked politely if he wouldn't.
Oh, yes.
His pronunciation was a little gringo, as they say. No, it's good. Hey, he's learning. And by the time he's done, he will be Ramon, the lover, the Romeo. He's going to be bilingual no, that's about it. Bilingual. And
Gracias, senor.
yeah,
Gracias.
de nalgas. So as you can see, we're all in our casual travel attire, except for one. Chad's already in stage gear. Chad never misses a chance to rock. So if we ever pull over and they say, rock, Chad's ready. We're not. We're going to give us a minute, hair and makeup. So
And Chad would be able to stall him in that circumstance, so we can all go get our clothes on, do our makeup, our nails, our hair, and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, we get to the instruments and get all that fine-tuned. And then we all really rock.
somehow I'm less convinced now.
Was that in Spanish?
I think it was definitely...
No, but I said that in Spanish.
It was definitely muy caliente, said the ladies. Am I right?
See.
See. The trip so far has been not bad. It's we've been on the road for many hours?
5.
5, yeah.
Is it 2, 4, 5? 5.
Yeah. No, we left at
8,
6.
Left at 6?
Yeah. No, we left
no,
6 hours. I thought it was
Been 6 hours.
Oh,
6
it's been
hours.
6 hours already?
Yeah. 6 hours.
Wow, it went fast.
I know, it's gone very fast.
Time flies with you guys.
That's exactly right, because everybody was sleeping,
Yeah, I was like,
including me.
yeah, tell the guys about the car that spun around in front of us.
I saw a little bit of that. What happened?
Well, so there was a little, there's a lot of construction, but this one moment in particular, there was a car in front of us, and the car in front of him, he had swerved, and the right lane was closed, and he had kind of swerved into it looked to me like, because there was a car blocking my view, but the car that swerved looked like he hit the ditch or the constructed lane, and he bounced and he swerved wildly. Warren Buffett here was halfway, half on the road, half on the market, but he saw a little bit. But then the second time he did it again, and that was it looked like a 360.
Yeah, he flipped aside and his car just spun around.
And he ended up like Dukes of Hazzard. He was kind of facing 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
and then he went back, and then he took off in the next. He took off at the next exit.
Yeah.
And I guarantee that's not where he was going. He was just mortified. But I think it was, like you said, I think it was a phone call. I think it was, on the phone.
You just veered by accident and had to...
Yeah, but it was twice. The first time would emphatically made you put that phone down, right? If you did that,
yeah.
I mean, you would, without a doubt, put that phone down and not touch it for at least 5 minutes.
You're right.
3 minutes. 1 minute later, and he's doing it again, and that one nearly took his car out. He nearly flipped.
Yeah.
When he was facing,
Because he kind of 360 that way, almost like. Did he go around this way?
No, he didn't spin around. But,
Yeah, he kind of turned it where he faced the other way, where it looked
Yes.
like he 360, but he
but he may have. I mean, if you were to take all the curvature, it would have been more than 360 because he swerved and to where the car was facing this way, but then he swerved back the other way, and and that's when he ended up. It was just so insane, and of course he's spitting up all the dirt from the side of the road because this side was construction, but the left side was obviously the median here, and he kicked all that dirt up, and as we went past him, I mean the road was up. We had to go through a foot of mud to get by the area in which he had spun out. So it was it's a great lesson for young drivers like myself, who have to be reminded, stay off the phone. Yeah. No porn when you drive. We're in a place called Louisiana. We just left a little town called Monroe, Louisiana, which I lived for a short time. I don't know if you know that, but you do now. I lived in East Monroe, not West Monroe. I'm not an animal. And couldn't recognize anything, not a street name, nothing from. So there you go. And we just stopped. We got something to eat. We actually didn't do fast food. All of us had a nutritious, what's the tisk I'm hearing?
No, I'm just laughing.
I know, why?
Because of where we bought it.
Hey, but still, it's better than a drive-thru, right?
Yeah.
It's better than a Subway, right?
Yep.
It's better than eating dead roadkill off a hooker. Stop it. Right?
Definitely better than that. Definitely better than that.
All right.
Let me tell you.
But I had fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables, that's what I had.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. I had banana too, but then I showed the boys a trick and I lost it. So hopefully I'll have it later if I see it again. Speaking of magic, we're going to be in Alabama soon. Okay. No, too soon. So let me ask you this. Just popped in my head, random thought. The best, cartoon musical, what is it? Is it Jungle Book or Dumbo?
Jungle Book. Over Dumbo?
Yeah.
Jungle Book.
Jungle Book?
I'm going to say Jungle Book too.
Yeah, better songs.
Better than the Crow song?
That's pretty good, but I think overall...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's more good songs in Jungle Book.
That Crow song, though, is pretty...
It is, yeah.
Pretty, and then I'll give you Jungle Book.
When I Seen an Elephant Fly, that one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
It is.
But, yeah, I think I have to go with Jungle Book. But I still love Dumbo. All right.
They're all good.
Best musical movie of all time. Sound of Music.
I'm a fan of the opera for me.
Edit that out.
All right, I'll move to the back of the van after this podcast is over.
I think I have to agree. Sound of Music takes the cake. The first thing I always think of is Singing in the Rain because I've seen that so many times. That is a great movie, but I think that musical, it's like none of the songs are actually written for the musical. They kind of wrote a story around these songs.
I didn't know that.
I think that's right.
I'd go number 2 is Music Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, that just popped out of the air. What's yours? And don't say West Side Story.
No, I'm going to
go... that banana will shoot your eye out.
I'm not a huge fan of musicals, so I'm going to pick one that I liked, and I'm going to say Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Yeah, the one with Tiny Tim, like the musical.
I don't even know. Yeah, I know of it. I don't know if
I didn't know there was a musical.
There's a bunch of versions of it, but we went and saw like a play of it.
Yeah.
Like as a family, we went and saw a play, and I thought it was so cool. They were kind of flying around, and so it wasn't like a mainstream, big popular one. We just saw it in a theater. I thought it was so cool.
Did anybody ever see Mary Poppins?
Oh, Mary Poppins is great too. Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Did you see it?
I didn't. I saw the movie. But I didn't
There's a movie. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah,
that's what I mean. Did you see it, Frank?
Oh yeah, good classic movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. I only saw the porno. I didn't see the original. But yeah, it's that's another good one.
I'm pretty fond of Wizard of Oz too.
That wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as the aforementioned.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know where this stuff comes from, but we're talking about it. Damn it!
That's my dad's favorite. Wizard of Oz, my dad's favorite.
Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah. I think it's his favorite movie.
Is it really?
I think so.
If you had to guess your mother's, don't say Grease.
Favorite? Well,
I know she likes Bryan Adams.
Yeah. Grease might be up there. I don't know if it's her favorite movie. I don't know. I'm not sure. they watch tons of movies, so it could be change. It could change, but
Wizard of Oz is one of those films that's amazing. It turned out as good as it did because if you read about it, it's like
doomed to fail.
Everybody was miserable making that movie. It's just everything went wrong. The guy who played the Tin Man, I think, nearly died. The original Tin Man, Buddy Ebsen, he went on to play, on Beverly Hillbillies. But he was going to be the Tin Man originally, and the silver paint they put on him made him like deathly ill. And
I heard about that.
Yeah. So they had to figure out when the next guy came on.
And he turned out to be Elon Musk, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The next guy who came on, they had to develop a different way to do the makeup so they wouldn't kill him. It's insane. But everybody from top to bottom making that film was just, it was the worst fucking experience they ever had in Hollywood.
So what drew you to Phantom of the Opera, Frank? Franklin of the Opera?
Yeah. It seemed like the story was just pretty, was kind of somewhat easy to follow. I think most of, over anything, definitely the music. I like the
music?
Especially like the instrumental portions. I very much have an instrumental background playing trumpet in jazz band, classical wind band, and all that stuff. My brain kind of automatically latches to like rhythm, melody, chords, and all that stuff. So that stuff's pretty good. Chances are I'll like the music.
Gotcha. So moving right along, what's the first song tomorrow night, which is going to be In the Past? Woohoo! Mind blow. What's the first song Friday night, North Carolina, Jack of the Wood? Frank.
Let's see. First song for Friday night. I'm going to say Slappers.
And you're going to say?
Irish Rover.
And you're going to say?
Grace.
You're all wrong.
Well, we knew that.
Okay.
That we
just
knew.
checking.
If you said, are you going to be right or wrong? Wrong.
That's not true. I had thought of all of them. But nobody won that one. The first song, Friday night, Jack of the Wood, is Kerfuffle. Why is that? Because we don't know the sound guy, we don't know the system, but we got to make sure that everything's working in our ears, and that's kind of that's my gauge, so we don't go through a song and go, oh, what's good? I didn't hear that, Anyway, okay, let me ask you this. Back to the musicals. If you had to be in a musical, what musical would you be in, and what part would you play? Chad, we'll start with you. Chatty Chad. Chatty Chad.
I'd be the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz.
Really? Well, what's his
safer makeup?
What was his main song?
If I only had it.
I keep thinking of the Scarecrow song. Shit.
Yeah, I've only had it.
Damn it.
I know.
I can't
Gotcha.
get it.
It needed a heart, right?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Apparently I needed that.
All right, let me ask you this, Chad, not Chatty Chad, Chadtreon. Tell us about your new Patreon channel.
Oh yes, yeah. I finally launched a Patreon to kind of as a workshop area to push this stuff out.
Push what stuff out?
My original material. I've long been intending to do this, and I just said, it's sort of rip the bandage thing off, because I'm like, it's one of those things like, well, I'll be ready to do it after I do this, or after I get to this point with this demo, and I realized I was just stalling, so I just went ahead and pulled the trigger on it, and it's been really returning to all these songs and working on them again has been a tremendously joyous thing for me, so I'm very grateful. I launched Patreon a couple days ago, and immediately a bunch of y'all jumped on. It was really heartening to see that. I really appreciate it. So I'm just getting started. There was just one song. There's literally dozens more that I've already written. Yeah, it's exciting.
Heck yeah. Good to hear. So how can they find it?
Patreon.com/Chad Richard Smalley.
Chad Richard Smalley, all one word?
Yep.
Very cool. Frank, where can they find your original material?
So they can find my original material on pretty much any music streaming platform. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube. You can type in Frank Sartain Composer. Either one of those should have pulled up on any of those platforms.
Spell Sartain?
Sartain. Sartain.
Sartain. Frank Sartain. Espanol? Just put an O after it.
Sartania.
Sartano. I like that. Francisco Sartano. It sounds Spanish.
There you go.
But seriously, Frank Sartain.
Okay.
Frank Sartain. Good to know. Turbo, you also have a bunch of backlogged old videos. Tell us some about this, and where can we see this stuff?
I'm trying to get all the bands and stuff that I've done over my years. Just, you got to get other people's approvals, but get everything just out there. Just put it out there because it's sitting in a closet. It does nothing. So
there's nothing wrong with being in a closet.
I know. But it did its time. It's ready to come out.
Just saying. I like it in here.
But one is I released the Easy Kill out. I know we talked a little bit about that on another episode, but that one you can get on Instagram.
What's that?
Just / the Easy Kill.
The Easy Kill.
The Instagram handle is the Easy Kill Kids, and Easy Kill is taken, so I had to go a different route. But soon I'll be getting all kinds of stuff up, and I finally found an old box of photos and tapes and videos, and old VHSs, and I think I got my hands on my very first concert when I was 15. I might have been 15, and we were playing the Showcase Theater in Corona, California. I did my first sound check, and I had no idea what was happening. But the guy was going kick, in my ear. He's going kick, and I was playing the drum. I thought he was saying kit, so I'm like playing the thing. So another, one of the main bands is up top, like kind of in the balcony where the bands were. He comes down, and he's like, "Let me help you, kid." Cause I was petrified, petrified. So,
I love that story.
I've told him, but I'm gonna get the video of it. So get that online.
That's gonna be so cool.
Yeah,
very cool. Well, that's tremendous. The reason why we're doing all this is because we're all going our separate ways after Monday. We're gonna join I'm gonna join the priesthood. Heard there's pretty good loving there. No, it really is. It's all this stuff has come to light because over the past few weeks we've been shuffling and squeezing and pushing and pulling and trying to get stuff into place in Blaggard world, and all this stuff has seemed to just kind of rise to the top. I had a solo acoustic show a couple of Fridays back. I point that way so you can look that way or walk that way, whichever you like. But a place called the LaSalle Hotel in Bryan, Texas. A club called the Boiler Room. It's a speakeasy, and the night was possibly one of my favorite nights performing, only because of all the wonderful people that traveled such a great distance to be there, and to go in and experience that night. It was very, very fun. Didn't even get to. I don't even think I got to about a third of the stuff that I had. It was one of those nights where you kind of blink and it's over, and tremendous. So a big thanks to our good friend Bill Allen for putting that night together. And but that's what reminded me of all this stuff going on. We've all got this history. We've all got these huge catalogs of music, and we're fighting right now to get ready to go on this tour. Just a side note too is I've been having some medical issues and hoping to be clear of that now by the end of the merry month of May. Hopefully be done with all that shit. So if you've noticed our calendar, it's been a little bit lighter than it usually has been, but we're going to rectify that come the summer.
Yeah.
And it's going to be August alone.
Yeah.
We really need to start napping now and not wake up until it's just being crazy. So, but it's exciting to see all these tributaries coming into this one big stream, and how different, and from complete, different, galaxies, never mind areas. This is all worlds apart,
Yeah.
So it's just really cool to see all that stuff coming together.
Yeah, I may have a few clips from speaking of your solo show. Greg sent me a bunch of stuff that you filmed
That's
there.
probably going to have to be verified.
In the port of Amsterdam, where the sailors all meet, there's a sailor who eats only fish heads and tails. He'll show you his teeth, that never I take too soon, that can haul up the sails, that can swallow the boat.
There's some good footage, I think, of Bill Bugby getting up and dancing during Tom Jones.
I didn't know that was a thing. I don't think I've performed that song before. I know I've never got through the whole thing in its entirety because So going back a little ways, a few years back, we released an album called Blaggards, and on that album, we had a song called Delilah, which we didn't write, unfortunately, and was made famous by some Welsh guy. My idea at the time was I wanted to put the song It's Not Unusual, a little bit of that before Delilah, because the meat of the song, the main part of Unusual, is not unusual to be mad at anyone, sad with anyone. If I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry, right? But that part I thought would be a great segue into Delilah, where he kills her.
Oh.
Right? So I was getting ready to do that. Well, Bill Bugby and Chris Buell, a couple others, decided they were going to get up and dance. So apparently the Tom Jones song was repopularized, if that's a word, in a TV show.
Oh.
So they were getting up and doing the dance that was happening, in that thing. I had no idea what was going on, but I was pissing myself laughing. I just could not concentrate on the song because these two, they seemed, definitely wasn't choreographed, but it was like there was an earthquake.
That's crazy. I didn't know there was a show. I just thought Bill was doing a Tom Jones impersonation.
No. Somebody had told me the name of Julia told me the name of the show, and I can't remember it. Doesn't matter. It was pretty funny because there was a couple of times throughout the night where people would just get up and they would dance for a little bit, and it's weird being an acoustic guitar player and having people do that. So, thank you for the. Sorry. No, you're right. No. It takes you by surprise when people get up and dance. It's just you and a guitar.
Right.
Because you kind of expect to be background music. And that was the funny thing about that club, was I had spoken to Bill Allen and to the staff subsequently after the show, and they'd all said the same thing. They're like, people don't usually participate in the show. It was strange to see. Oh, it's cool. Yeah, it was very, very fun. Did songs that Blaggards used to do. My first band, On the Dole, would do. But I did some of these old songs because I had chronologically put all these songs together, which I thought would be kind of fun to hear how Blaggards came to be. Not that there was any. You pick songs that you like that a crowd might enjoy, or if you're doing a certain festival, they would gravitate towards that kind of stuff. So you kind of but it was fun going backwards and picking up these songs that you did first. This was first, and I know why we did this one, because it was 3 chords, no time changes, no key changes, no, just boom, 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 So that was my idea. But then once you get into the show and people kind of steer you, oh, they like that one. Let's not do a slow one here. They're moving.
They were.
Keep it going.
I could see in that footage that they were all really energetic.
It really was. It was a special night. It was one that you couldn't script. You couldn't go in there and say, I'm going to do. I did. Anyway, that's the crux of the thing. But it was a very, very fun night.
Side note. Do you remember the story that Tom Jones told about when he first met John Lennon?
Oh, I do indeed.
Beatles, yeah. They were at and Tom Jones himself told the story in an interview somewhere, that when Tom Jones was right when It's Not Unusual had come out, it was a big hit, and he and the Beatles were on the same show somewhere. It was like a TV show in Britain, or I can't remember what it was. But he's sound checking, and the Beatles come in, and John walks up as Tom is on stage, rehearsing, and he shouts out at him. He says, "It's not an orangutan, it's an elephant. How you doing, you Welsh poof?" And Tom was pissed off, and he finished the rest of the sound check, I think, like steaming. And he gets off, and his manager comes up to him and says, he's like talking him down, like he's from Liverpool. That's what they do. He's just having a go. But they became really good friends after that.
Yes, they did. But it's not a unicorn.
Unicorn. Oh, thank you. It's like I couldn't remember.
Yeah, don't. No. Yeah,
it's not a unicorn or something. Yeah, that scans better.
Of course.
Damn it. Anyway, yeah, I fucking love that story.
Yeah, that's And Tom has, you know, you really one needs to look up some Tom Jones interviews because that humor is that dry. It's that Python-esque. I don't think anybody escaped Monty Python in that part of Europe. I just don't think anybody escaped that humor because everybody has a touch of that. I don't know those quips, but nobody was funnier. In my opinion, nobody was funnier than John Lennon or the Beatles as a whole.
Yeah,
I mean, because Eric Idle, great friends with.
And that all came out. Monty Python came after.
And George Harrison, of course, great friends with Eric Idle and
Right.
the Monty Python. That, to me, that says everything.
Yeah, well, for the Beatles, it was, this is before Monty Python came out of the same thing. It was the Goon Show and Marx Brothers.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Just great stuff. But look up some interviews with Tom Jones, the Beatles. I mean, it's hysterical. One of my favorite lines on one of the Beatles live shows was John Lennon on the microphone saying, the people, he goes, we'd appreciate, of course, Chad will correct me on this one, but he goes, the people in the cheap seats, you can clap your hands, the people in the other, just rattle your jewelry.
Right, yeah.
I was like, this guy, you're not going to beat that.
What I love is that expression he gives right after he says that, because he's like, I said it. He was expecting to be in trouble after doing that, but nobody really called him out for it. Because the fucking Queen was there.
Yep. Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, beeline back to reality. Where are we? Everybody all right? Frank, you up?
We've got corn.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. We'll stop and make some whiskey. But besides David Lee Roth, who's the funniest on stage? Who's the? I don't know. I mean,
besides David Lee Roth?
Yeah, David Lee Roth is easily the funniest. But
this is a completely different genre. But I've seen Robin Hitchcock perform. His banter on stage is nonstop and absolutely hilarious.
That's it.
Yeah. He has a real gift for that.
Yeah, what's his name? I think they all have it too. The Steve Earle, he's very quick. I mean, I guess they just have to, because they've done the folkier stuff. This is a question. I'm not saying this. I'm saying I would imagine because they've done the folkier stuff that they have been heckled more.
Oh, gotcha.
So they would have to build up that.
Yeah.
You have to have that up, the ammunition. Because there's a great clip. I'll send it to you. Well, I actually just go look it up. Because we've mentioned so many times on here the wonderful the one, the only Doug Stanhope. But he has this. I may have told this story recently. Forgive me if I have, but. He writes his material and he tries it out, and when he was trying it out, some of his new material, he decided he would do it at his place, and he was kind of coerced into trying some of his new material at his place, and had invited the neighbors over, blah blah blah. Well, some lady some gentleman at the event had told his wife, he said, I want to do a haiku, can you? And that's about as if you're going to go look it up, that's all I want to tell you, because it's worth looking up. But, I mean, just the value that people hold in entertainment. Obviously, the people that signed up for your Patreon, that signed up for our Patreon, the people that come drive all these...
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah, many, many hours, and they get it. But the ones that just appear in a room, and they're like, what are these guys doing here? Freebird! That's...
Yeah,
I mean...
They try to insert themselves into your work.
Oh, and again, and poorly.
Yeah.
The thoughtlessness, I mean, I don't even want to say the words, but just the the meagerness. I mean, just come up with your own shit. I've got a Patty pet peeves.
Here we go.
Here we go. This is it. And this is piggybacking on that last little. My pet peeve is this: if you're gonna express yourself, if you're gonna make your point, use your own fucking language. Use your own tongue. Use your own banter. Use your own.
Yeah.
Don't use there's few terms right now that just drive me up the wall. And for a while, I think it was the 90s, it was grind my gears for the, back when Mike McAloon was in the band, we would joke, we would just, it was pure irony, just going, I don't give a care, but making fun of these quip de jours, these just flavorless, overused, like the word super. The word super is completely overused. It doesn't mean anything anymore. The word awesome is completely useless now because it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's just used for, oh, that taco was awesome. And she said, oh, I'm a prostitute. I've never heard that before. But you've got to come up with your own, you've got to be yourself. You have to put your own, if you're angry, if you're happy, if you're in love, if you're in hate, if you're in fight, use your own fucking tongue. Don't use everybody else is saying that. The amount of times I've heard super on the news. Oh, it was super aggressive strike today, and what? What did you say? Yeah.
And that's like in the past 15, 20 years, right? That's become.
Yes, it drives me up the fucking wall. Why would you even get out of bed?
Yeah.
Have somebody else do it for you.
I mean, the best I can say for awesome is that goes all the way back to the 80s.
The what?
Awesome goes all the way back to the 80s. At least that's the best I can say for it, that it's almost has a vintage flavor to it now because it's a very old abused word as opposed to super, which is more recent for us anyway.
Yeah, super is really new to me because I'm developing a stutter. I'm so fucking angry. When I hear it, I go, didn't you go to school? Did they teach you what? Is there any other word you could have used there?
Yeah.
Super? Stop. Anyway.
No, mine's no worries. No worries. I'm just like, and then I find myself saying it. I go, it's like LOL. Just, can we cut it out? Like,
please.
Just, you don't have to say LOL. You can make the joke.
Yeah.
Dig me in the text. Don't soften it up by LOL. I'm like, they're scared. I'm like, just let it rip. Like,
yeah. One thing, the things that I catch myself saying, those are the ones I know are the worst. But things like I only remember hearing this until like the late 90s, which for us seems more recent. That was like my late 20s, early 30s. I'd start hearing people say, "Oh, my bad."
That was I was just when you said that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, or "You're good." Those two expressions, I don't remember them being around when I was a teenager.
No,
especially "my bad." Like,
my bad is new. That's I would go early aughts.
I hear all the above these days. The super, cool, awesome, LOL.
Yeah.
I feel like I hear it and read it all that stuff all the time. So
yeah, well,
my take is, it doesn't bug me so much just as long as it's like a variety of phrases being used.
Mix it up.
Exactly.
LOL.
Yeah.
Cool.
They annoy
Awesome,
me. All of them annoy me. Especially when I catch myself saying it. I'm like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, I don't believe I've ever typed LOL. We're going to be at Marty McGee's on Monday. First time I heard somebody say LOL in a sentence was at Marty McGee's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were going to sit up there. There was a little drunk Irish guy.
What was the sentence he said? If you remember.
I don't recall the sentence, but it was very sarcastic and... I said, what?
Mississippi.
Woo! There you go. I was going to take a really long jump and try to get over it, but we won't. Yeah, it was a very sarcastic, which is unlike the Irish completely. He said sarcastically. He had come, and it was also very hard to understand him. We were playing by that dartboard. They had to close that door. We played by that dartboard in the corner. Marty McGee's.
Yeah.
And he comes over and he goes, "Oh, Jack the fucking LOL,
Yeah.
LOL, OMG, OL." And I was like, that might have been funny one time 10 years ago, but it's gone. You should really shut up and probably die now. Anyway, so my bad drives me up the wall. My daughter will say that, and I said, "Please don't say that."
I even remember the first time I heard that. It was a friend of mine. I was at one of his parties in the late 90s, and he bumped into me and accidentally ashed on my arm because he was smoking a cigarette. And he said, "Oh, my bad." And I remember thinking that stuck with me. I was like, "What? What did he say? My bad? My bad what?"
Yes, that drives me up the wall. I'm glad you said that. That really, when you said "no worries," I was going to say, "Oh, my bad." That's the one I hate.
Yeah.
That's the one I hate. Again, it's not a,
It bugs me the most at a restaurant. Like when the waitress or waiter is going, every time you say something, "Hey, can I get," "Yeah, no worries. That's the answer to everything. I'm just like, "Oh, don't ask them for nothing."
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Yeah, what happened to no problem? Let's go back to that.
You don't even have to reply.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sensitive about these isms, these little taglines and these little quips, and I'm so sensitive to them that I try to come up, and most of the time it's a failure, but I mean, I try to come up with my own on the spot to go, "Oh, that was silly," like give them something as silly as it, and I'm frantically searching for one of those examples. I can't do it right now, but I'm guilty of 100%. It's the same thing as absolutely. Do you know what absolutely means? Because now it doesn't mean that.
Right.
You know, it's just, again, definitely not a stickler for punctuation or, everything but some of these things just get on my fucking wick. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Some words are just so old in our vernacular, we don't think like fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic means literally like fictional.
Yes.
Of something of fantasy. Fantastic. But it's become something else in language because of the way we use it. Incredible too.
Vis-a-vis serendipitous.
Yeah.
How many people? Anyway, we could go on. Wow. Good. I'm glad it's not just me. So let's tie a little bow on this.
All right.
Give the lads a break. It's been
We still have 10 hours to go.
Yeah, we're doing good, and we are hoping to see all of you at a show. We have added, coming up very, very rapidly. We're going back to Bullet Grill House in Point Blank, Texas. A little bit out of town for the Houston crew, but let me tell you, staff tremendous. Mm-hmm. Burgers out of this world.
Yeah, great food.
Amazing.
Great stage, possibly outside depending on the weather. It might be an outdoor show, but the staff know what the hell they're doing, and if I can coax all these chaps into a room, we might even have a new song for you. So,
all right.
How's that for enticing? So, check out Frank's Chad stuff, Turbo stuff. Come see us play live. I cannot thank you enough for watching, for tuning in, for slapping along with us on this beautiful Slapper Day, 3/28. Thanks for being here. We love you, and thank you, Kelly Navarro.
Yes, thank you.
So caffeinated. Thanks to you.
All right.
Cheers.